One of the reasons that Disney Plus is failing so hard is because all the fucking money that they are spending. We have seen the budgets for all these Disney Plus series, whether it's Andor at $250 million, things like this. It's been insane. That's obviously a Lucasfilm project, but Marvel projects have been expensive as hell on Disney Plus too. And apparently, one of those things is Secret Invasion. Now, Marvel's Secret Invasion, you may know or you may not, because quite honestly, nobody is talking about this, despite the fact that Samuel L. Jackson is back as Nick Fury, starring in Secret Invasion. It has been one of the lowest rated things they've ever done. The second lowest in terms of people actually watching that they've had in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just barely drawing in more viewers than Miss Marvel, which was an absolute failure for them. But I don't think Miss Marvel cost the same as this show did. Why Marvel's Secret Invasion show is a big disappointment. The biggest reason it's a disappointment is probably the budget. It'd be one thing if it was just failing, but it just got revealed that the budget is $212 million. It makes no sense. Marvel's Secret Invasion has a $212 million budget. This is outlandish that you're spending $212 million. I think it's a 6-episode series. It might be 8, I guess, but you're spending $212 million. This is a massive, big budget blockbuster type movie. That's how much like $212 million would get for you. That's more than they spent on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which also lost money. But if you're doing these things, this is one of the big reasons why Disney Plus is losing $1 billion every quarter. Stuff like this is not sustainable when no one is watching.
Yeah, that's an astronomically insane budget for this thing. I mean, it's weird because if this came out like a few years ago, back when Marvel was still kind of, hype and stuff, this would have done extremely well on the platform. I think that a lot of people would have been very excited to see what they were doing with this, having Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury, all of that type of stuff. That was always like a huge draw for people. But the fact that you have literally Nick Fury basically kind of starring in this show and no one is watching it, it just tells you everything about where Disney's at right now with all of the crap that they're putting out.
And they also kind of butchered the whole Secret Invasion stuff with Captain Marvel, with the Skrulls and in that movie. And then it's like, oh, we're going to do Secret Invasion. It's like, how? How are you going to do that? You kind of already butchered it in Captain Marvel. And also, I mean, besides the product not being good, that goes without saying. We know that this is shit. It's hollow. But we kind of saw this a few years ago when they announced that they were going to put a whole bunch of like spin-off Marvel shows, and that if you want to stay up to date with all of these MCU movies going out into theaters, a lot of them you have to pay attention to the MCU. So they were running their audience thin. They were putting the audience and the ability to catch up and keep up to date with the storylines behind a paywall. You had to buy Disney Plus. You had to watch these shows if you want to understand the next movie. And that is a turnoff to a lot of people. You're just going to spread your audience thin at that point. So that's why you see the shows failing. That's why you see the movies failing. Not only because they're not good, but because you told people, hey, listen, you're not going to be caught up if you don't pay and watch our shows.
Yeah, if you don't watch our shit shows.
Yeah.
They're going to make you feel miserable while you're watching them. Yeah. Yep.
And She-Hulk as well. She-Hulk reportedly cost $225 million. Now, that had more episodes, I think, than Secret Invasion. And look at what the quality we got. Some of the most atrocious CGI we've ever seen in living memory that looked like it was a Grand Theft Auto game on PlayStation 2. Like, that's what we're getting for $225 million. And they're getting roasted by everyone right now because everyone can see that this type of shit is not sustainable, that it doesn't make any sense, that some of these big commitments were made at a time where they thought that streaming was going to be the next big thing for them. And they're quickly realizing that there's not the money that they thought there was going to be. Almost like so many of these streaming services are losing money right now, especially Disney. And they're the ones that maybe went harder in it than anyone else. And if you're putting out dog shit like this for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is the reason why audiences are walking away. You have more trash that just shoveled into your mouth every fucking week with these weekly release strategies. And people are out. People just aren't invested in the MCU anymore because it's been so bad. They're telling you bad stories, and it's about characters that you're not interested in. And that is a recipe for disaster. And at this point, it's becoming apathy for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's about the worst place it could possibly be.